Welcome to a new episode of our Wholesale e-commerce podcast, also known as Groothandel e-commerce podcast for our Dutch listeners. But today we do it in English because we have a guest that speaks English. We are talking about one of the biggest shifts in digital commerce, the move from keyword-based search to conversational product discovery, which is something completely different. Sounds same, but it is different. My guest is Andrej Judiak from Lucius Box. Lucius Box is known for AI-powered search and product discovery. And recently, it launched its conversational agent. And that's a feature that allows shoppers to search in natural language, a little bit Chatgpt-like, if you want. Andrej, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Really happy to see you, but because I was really I saw the new product of Lucius Box and I thought, whoa, I want to know more about it. So tell me everything about it. But first of all, who are you? And for those people that still don't know Lucius Box, what is Lucius Box?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. As you introduced me, I'm Andrej. I am at the company, as you mentioned, Lucius Box, and even though it sounds like we deliver pizza, we do search and product discovery. So our focus is mainly on making sure that the user who comes into the website might convert by using search, smarter upselling, cross-selling, smarter category pages and filters, and potentially some guided selling experience as well. I'm with the company for almost 6 years, and my role is to make sure that people in the Benelux region knows about the company. So I guess that's why the reason I'm here on the call.
Cool. Let's start on the fundament, because what we see is that many companies have invested heavily in the webshop, their ERP integration, their product data. They might have a beautiful PIM system, but still product search often remains a frustrating experience. People complaining about it. If it's not the client itself, it might be the account manager that is in a sales team that is using the same web shop or hearing the complaints of the customer. Why is it still so difficult to offer a great search?
Yeah, that is a good question. I think either it's B2C, but mainly in the B2B, because the visitors still tend to think in their problems, not about e-commerce or merchandisers taxonomy and how you structure data and stuff. They're gonna write down like their problems. So how to install AC, or how to make sure that this or that work, or like what do I need for installing a heat pump. And this is obviously not something which is normally or usually structured in the product data. And together with it, especially in the B2B, what is like super complicated is that merchants have so many attributes, meta fields, and roles, like what can be actually sold with each other. So to be precise and accurate in search, it's a completely magic behind it. We do it for 10 years and we still learn on an everyday basis.
Okay, cool. You just mentioned, people start to use normal language, whereas I still hear cases where people take a printed catalog, they search for a product and they punch in the product number, but something has changed, isn't it, since ChatGPT? Do you feel that since ChatGPT, the behavior changed, that people are searching in another way than before?
Yeah, definitely. It's not that like 70% of search users are already writing in sentences, not like that. It's still in small percentages, sometimes in promille instead of percentages. But like we see that the trend is increasing, that people tend to use plain text more and more often. And they are more descriptive in a way they actually describe the problem, not that specific as on the keyword search basis.
Yeah, I can imagine. And we have to keep in mind that nowadays the majority of buyers are Gen Z. It's not the kind of, well, let's call my own generation a booming generation. I'm a little bit younger, but not boomer, but
You're basically millennial. I can see that.
yeah, and since people use ChatGPT, they start to change their behavior, isn't it? Yeah. Um, yeah. So as I just told, and I was so happy about, Luti's box recently launched Conversational Agent.
Hmm.
I can be enthusiastic, but could you please explain what it is exactly and how it's different from a traditional chatbot?
Yeah, that is a good question. Because like, firstly, it looks very similar to traditional chatbots, but chatbots are mainly focused on having a dedicated area on the website, and it has some tree of questions and answers it goes through, so it has some ratio behind it. Conversational search has a different goal. Basically, it tries to behave as a salesperson in the online store, so to really to understand like what's behind the user's intent, uh, what might help the user to resolve their problem, and to also provide some description, like so not only return products which are relatable to that particular issue or a case, but also like try to explain like why this is a good fit, and really to get sort of a salespeople experience in the online store. And what is like super important for us as a full product discovery provider is that the system should also communicate with other parts of the website. So it should understand how you, as a unique visitor of the site, used to behave during previous sessions, how you behave now during the current session. What are your preferences, basically, maybe on the product attribute level, so to personalize the content and experience a bit. And really, yeah. So that's the main added value of conversational agents.
So there where a traditional chatbot quite often answers questions like, where is my package?
Yeah, exactly.
This is really focused on finding, comparing, and choosing products and asking clarifying questions, isn't it? Like, do you use it for this or that? Is it for maintenance or is it for installing a new one?
Yeah.
Uh, that kind of questions that really guides you to the right product into the million SKUs that you might have as wholesale.
Exactly. Yes, so to simplify the whole experience in buying a product, and as you said, like helping out with clarifying questions, not only by set of predefined questions.
Yeah, and yeah, actually, that brings us more or less why it's so important because let's make it very practical for wholesalers. Imagine a buyer visits a B web shop and searches for something like, I need a replacement parts for this specific machine, preferably with a name or a number or something like that. Yeah, or I need cleaning products suitable for food production environments. I can imagine that conversational search is more powerful than just the typical search bar that you have. Uh,
Yeah.
um, do you see what kind of benefits it has, more or less, in those kind of scenarios?
Yeah, like we can go very technical and we can go high level. On a high level basis, it should simplify the experience, and shoppers also where maybe the product data is not there quite yet. Obviously, the better product data, the better for the system as well. But the vectorization behind it, it can build automatic relations in between user's query and user's intent with what's in your product catalog. And so, like, really to understand what's behind it and help to simplify the whole experience ultimately.
Yeah, probably it helps you to find products more, well, actually faster, isn't it? And uh, I can imagine that you have fewer failed searches. You don't want to call because it's faster to just do it online, but sometimes you have to call because you don't understand it or you're not sure. So I really think this uh, this helps. And well, in wholesale, a failed search is often not just a UX issue. It can be mean the customer calls sales, sends an email, et cetera, et cetera. So it's yeah. Do you think that search quality is often underestimated as a commercial growth lever in B2B?
Yeah. We see that still quite a lot. Like um, B2B is still like a little bit behind B2C, where like the competition is probably a bit more tight, I would say. So they're trying to be more innovative faster than the others. And like in B2B follows as well, obviously. But what is interesting enough, like we publish every year an ebook about trends in e-commerce and how people behaves. And we see a trend that like more than 50% of users in average search in the B2B. So imagine how many conversions it can make if 50% of users already search, and they're more likely to convert. So usually conversion rate is higher in the search bar than, for example, on category pages or on carousels. So and like still many B2Bs, even speaking about like Benelux market, which is like way more advanced compared to some other European markets. We still see a trend that many businesses don't use any product discovery provider.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. So I really understand that it's a game changer, the way that people search, the way that people interact with websites. You don't need to call anymore. You're faster. Um, what I always learned as a boomer was garbage in, garbage out. So conversational AI sounds powerful, but uh, many of our clients, the typical wholesaler, will think our product data is not perfect yet. So how does the product data need to be before a company can start with conversational product
Mm-hmm.
discovery?
Yeah, that is a good question because, as you said, garbage in, garbage out. You said it nicely. I know a more expressive term for that. Uh, but as you said, especially in the
let's let's not use it. People can imagine what you
yeah,
mean.
exactly. Uh, especially in the ramp up periods. Imagine that like every product information is used for personalization and for the system to learn and optimize from. And obviously, like good product discovery tools, they have a robust analytics behind it where you can collect clicks, add to cart impressions. So to find out relations in between products and other products, or maybe attributes and products. But ultimately, in
Mhm.
the ramp up period, the system doesn't have those data, and how you can help the system to perform in the best possible way at the beginning, but even on long-term basis, is to provide it with all the product information you have, so
Uh,
it can learn and optimize.
yeah, I understand. And probably if your data is really not good enough to be relevant for the AI system, you probably need a PIM system where you have a good insight in what kind of data you're missing, probably the use of AI to create some extra data around the products. But that's an whole other podcast. Don't let me talking about that because then it will be a very long podcast. Um, yeah. So let's assume somebody is listening. They implement Luci's box because they really believe that conversational search is better for their clients or improving search in general. What would what should merchants measure? What is the proof that search and product discovery is working?
Hmm.
Should they look at?
uh, so you have some information in the GA4, which gives you, usually it's GA4 with the vast majority of merchants, either B2C or B2B.
Mhm.
So like you have there a high level of like how website performs, and it obviously directly relates to the product discovery tools on the site as well. But like then you should see also additional metrics, a breakdown per per placement. So search conversion rate, recommendation click-through rates, like how many people see a certain recommendation carousels and how many click into it and then convert ultimately as well. So add to cart, purchases, building sort of a funnel is super important. When it comes to conversational search, we can speak about completion rate. So how many users actually started the conversation, maybe ended up buying, but also before that, like ended up into the very last question with and saw products with which they can interact with. So completion rates, conversion rate, exit rate from search as well is a very important one we collect and analyze with customers. So I would recommend this.
And I think it's important, isn't it, to measure it, because based on that measurement, you can improve even the use of Logistics or any other tool that is in that sense, and to prove to the people that invest in it that you are earning it back, that it's really useful. Well, looking ahead, do you think that a B2B web shop of the future will become more like a digital buying assistant than a traditional online
Mm-hmm.
catalog?
I like it's a good question. It's more complicated. We still believe that like e-commerce as such and like catalogs won't follow like straight away, but like what shoppers should be ready for is the agent e-commerce. And so like agent will buy instead of your visitors and users, and the search product discovery solution should be ready for that. So for those prompts coming from Claude, from Anthropic, from OpenAI or Gemini, it should return the right products. And so you should have a search and product discovery tool which is MCP ready. That's first thing. And the other thing is obviously the things we have discussed. So the intent data, the more plain text queries will follow in bigger percentage than currently are. So yeah, again, we should be all ready for that.
Cool. Well, that sounds like a perfect wrap up um, of the whole podcast. What we understand after this is that user behavior is changing. Gen X asks questions instead of punching in product numbers. Uh, well, we need a tool for that. With Luci's box, there is a affordable tool for that. It's not only for Amazon or whatever. It's also for your SME wholesale organization. And the future might be at least partly defined by buyer agents instead of buyer people. And you have to be ready for that. And Luci's box from Luci's books, that's something else, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of Luci's. I never heard about them, but Luci's box, or Luci's box, is really helping with MCP readiness. Well, Andrej, thanks a lot for joining us. For wholesalers who want to move beyond the basic site search and want to know more, obviously you can ask us, H1 or Luci's box directly. Just plan a call and we explain you everything. Or you come to the Groothandel e-commerce event. Sorry, Andrej, I do this in Dutch. The Groothandel e-commerce event on the 29th of September, where also Andrej will be there to explain everything about this. Thank you very much, and I hope you hear us next time. Bye-bye.